We are here with Oleg and Kaza and Mama and Kasper that you probably will see running around a few times. And so first of all, it's just great to be with you again after 3 years. So the first question is, what is your legal situation at the moment?
So we're still in trouble with police. We are in that international warrant list, so-called red list by Interpol. So better say we're still a pain in the ass for the whole Interpol around the world. And now we're here in quite a legal way, so without permission, without visas, without papers. And so Marco asked me. That is why we need to be. We need security. We need security as well. Not very strong security as we have in Russia, because in Russia we're absolutely underground. Here we're pretending that we are tourists, kind of just to be here just to celebrate New Year's, but true, we are with our comrades, with our Italian friends.
This was the first question and was, of course, something that we had to ask because we met 3 years ago when you were not starting, but you were starting to work a lot with your public actions as Voina. And of course your action had been always addressed against the Russian regime, against Medvedev at the time, and then again against Putin. And then because of your action you fell in big troubles. Both of you were arrested by the police, you were kept in jail for a few months. After this period in jail, you were released, so that maybe people don't know who Voina is. So I'm just giving a bit of a fast story of your legal adventures, let's say. But let's start from something that the people who is following you think maybe is one of your last action, and was really more or less 1 month ago, and you had this strong action of setting on fire, more or less, in the New Year's Eve of 2011. Exactly at the New Year's Eve.
10 or 15 minutes before.
Before the New Year's, before 2011, came you set on fire a police van in St. Petersburg, I think, if I'm not wrong. Anyway, from that action on, probably your public traces were a bit lost. Did you stop making actions, or they just had another form?
No, as I tell you, we started with a lot of anonymous actions, or better say trainings. We did a lot of them without publish, because frankly, our goal is not to be published. Our goal is to do something that people can use by their own as a way, as the direction of their activity. So, and we published just 1/3 of our action, what we used to do. So, if you see one of Voina action in public, so better to think that it's just 1/3 of our activity at that period. So, and we really prefer to do in that way. So, of course, we will publish our new action in future. We're not against it absolutely, but we really love to do all that anonymous training, and frankly, we have 2 reasons to do these things. First, if we say that it is us who do it, police just annihilate us in a physical way because it's very close to crime. It looks like crimes, but not like artistic actions. So, and we love it. This is the first reason, because, you know, only few of us recognized in public as part of Voina members.
Yeah.
So, but we have some activists from 50 to sometimes to 200. So, and they really need to be anonymous just to save their.
To be safe.
Yes, just to be saved. And second, it's a kind of a principle to stay anonymous in every situation for them. So they just delegate us to say words, to be in public, and they prefer to stay very hidden. And that is why it's our rule to do things not only for media. So, and we have some anonymous actions during this period. We never published them, and since that wagon, we decided to return to that way. Not absolutely, but right now, since in that year we made 7 that anonymous training, but we preferred not to.
Yeah, the important thing here, I think, is that you did not stop making actions. They only went anonymous. Let's
да, и
say.
в дополнение к этому мы разрабатываем техники, которые могут пригодиться нам в дальнейшем.
Kazat said that it is not only about anonymous action. You know, we did all this training just to prepare, just to realize if it's possible to do the big new action.
Okay.
So it's kind of a steps, you know, all this training to realize if it's possible at all. So we during this period.
It's also kind of a testing possibilities.
Yes, and maybe it's better say that testing of reality is one of our main goals.
Yeah, we will come back to your actions later because I'm very interested also in the, let's call it, artistic side of them. The question is, when we met 3 years ago, the situation in Russia was very different. In 2010, 2009, there were not big social movements in Russia, but the situation really changed at the end of 2011, when Putin was re-elected. And there were huge social movements on the streets of Russia. We were having a chat yesterday night about it, and I'm also interested in knowing from you if that energy that went up to the streets in the first months of 2012 is still alive in Russia. What were the results that these social movements conceived? What the limits, etc.
So in 2010, when we did some of our most popular actions, it was very silent, quiet situation in Russia without all that waves, social waves of activity, and we knew all about this situation, and it was a kind of surprise, especially for authorities. In December, as you said, but it was not the election of Putin, it was the election for parliament in December. So since that time, suddenly the activity rose up very fast. So, and it was very surprised for Putin and his team as well. At that moment, they just sat and look and have no plan what to do with all the thousands of people on the street against him personally and his team, his gang. So, and we also have all these people, better say new people in protest, neophytes. So they just came to the protest movement since December, and they never heard about opposition and history of opposition before this December. And we have these crowds of people ready to do something. But now, better say that now we lost this possibility. I can explain my opinion why.
Why now?
So the opposition movement had made some big mistakes, and one of them that the so-called leaders of opposition came from bourgeois. They really want to start their career on the wave of the protest, and they decided to discuss with authorities how they will change them. So it was very funny. They act like clowns, but at that moment they were full of pride that they mean something to, I don't know, to whom. Maybe to people, but especially to authorities. And then they just lose the fight in all that discussions. When, where will be the next demonstration, etc. But for authorities, they just need time to create a plan how to destroy all this very huge movement. And authorities just pretend that they are discussing with those leaders.
So basically, you think that the mistake was the decision to accept this fake dialogue with,
Yes.
with the authorities?
Because if you have on the street hundreds of thousands of people, there's no need to discuss there's no need to discuss with the authorities. It's time to act. So they just lose this period because, for example, in March, when we had the election of the president and Putin came against, authorities already had their plan in every situation for force, for peace, or for everything. So they just need time, and they had their time.
Yeah. But let's come back to your action. I'm not interested in discussing whether it is art or not. This is a very stupid question. I'm interested in understanding how do you consider your actions to be part of an aesthetic artistic discourse. So I'm interested in your subjective view over your actions, not only as political actions but also as art.
So maybe the most important result of our actions in artistic way, we took very old and quite forgotten genre as expressionism, and this genre just not for sale. People from art world pay no big attention to this genre, and we just rised up with this. And now it's okay to say that now the expressionism is the most important and most powerful genre in art, not only in Russia but in the whole world, because 2011 was just dedicated to those simple activists, to those common activists on the streets. The hero of this year was just man in the mask, just person with black black dressed person against something. So in the whole world, especially in Egypt, so in the Middle East, so but in the whole Europe and in the whole world too. So that is why I am proud to say that we can give another life for this actionism. So it was, of course, it was in the beginning of the last century in Dadaism. It was in the 50s and 60s in very political way. But then it was forgotten. The first things were just objects or, I don't know, just something on the wall, etc. And we just found forgotten genre and rebuilt the power of this kind of art.
Now, the problem with what you say could be that, especially contemporary art is a field that basically works a lot with this kind of conflictive or oppositional imaginary. So how do you deal with it? How do you work as artists to not being captured by the cultural industry of the art system? For example, you were co-curating the Berlin Biennial. For example, how was it as an experience? This thing of being co-curator of such an institutional event.
So it's easy to be not captured, because every time you need to say your strong no. So before the Berlin Biennale story, we had very funny story in Russia. When we were in prison, we heard that we are nominated. We nominated on the very important state prize, Russian prize for contemporary art. So we have a lot of this patriarch of art. They also were nominated, and we, as a young generation, were nominated too. And it was very funny. But at that moment, still in prison, we realized that cultural ministry just want to buy us with that price. So and even in that way, because it's very funny to give the main prize for the dig on the bridge against FSB, against KGB. So, but they decided to do this to buy us because it was very funny. They had a lot and still have a lot of exhibitions of Russian contemporary art, not only in Russia but outside, but abroad too. And there's no Voina walk. And people just ask him why, and they have no answer for this. And that he decided to give us that prize to buy us, but we just say no, and we didn't.
So you refused the prize?
Yes, we didn't come to ceremony, and the only right thing that we did, we asked our lawyers, very good lawyers, because after we say no, they answered okay and no money as well. Mm-hmm. So we say okay, but we sent our lawyers to meet these guys, and we just create the plan how to send all this money to political prisoners. And the funny was that in that special case, the state had to pay to those who are against state.
So you succeeded in sending those money to political prisoners?
Yes. So the state was the sponsor
of political prisoners.
Yes. Maybe it was the first time in the history of Russia in that very
And
quite funny way.
And honestly, what do you think about all this interest around political art now in the art system? Do you think it is in some way a space, a good space for critique, for freedom of expression, or do you think it is more a way to weaken political activism?
Please explain me a question.
I'm asking what you think about this big interest around political art, especially in the institutional art media. Do you think it is a good thing? It is a bad thing? It is a way by which we can have more freedom of expression, or it is only a way to capture?
Well, no, I think that it happened because in that period of maybe since 2005 till now, the most interesting events, the most bright walks happen in activism. That is why they really need to tell something, to say something about it. They can't just close their eyes as nothing happened. So they just wonder how they can live with in that new reality. So of course they really need to capture, because they don't want to be outside of scene. But if all this not about career, if all this not about sailing, in every situation you must say no, because it is you really need to be independent. So for example, the story of Berlin Biennale is the lesson about it, because we and Żmijewski had a lot of plans.
Artur Żmijewski was the curator of the Biennale.
So, funny and interesting. For example, I can describe you some of these our ideas, on which organizers say no way, never, etc.
Never
It's against
never
law.
in life.
First, we have the idea. It was my idea from. First, I decided to do it in Moscow, but it's impossible to do it in Moscow because police just came and ruined everything. We decided we just need a room, maybe half of that room, and I asked only for 10 or 20 activists, not painters, not sculptors, just common guys.
Yeah.
Maybe without an experience of just new guys. And the goal is to make in that room a kind of installation, but frankly just supermarket for free products. And every day during this biennale, every day those 20 or 10 activists must to go around the city, around Berlin, to steal products in huge supermarket or whatever they want, and to put all these things
In that room.
in that room, just in the ordinary way, just like all supermarkets do. Just and for example, you and me, also in that game, every day you need to bring 20 kilograms of fresh meat.
Yeah.
I need, for example, to bring 20 kilograms of oranges, because I need to bring some bottles of wine. So, and every day, just installation. And everybody can go and pick whatever they want without any limits. So it may be walk only 5 minutes when everybody came and catch everything, or maybe it will walk in during the day 24/7. So if people have just one orange, they also can put. But they say no.
Absolutely not.
So, for example, we had another interesting plan. We decided to burn down some cars in some districts of Berlin. First, of course, it will be better to burn down police cars, but at least we agreed just to burn down some cars, maybe forgotten, maybe belong to nobody right now. And then we decided to spread this info and to observe how media will work with this info. For example, some media will write it's Islamic people. Some will say it's radical groups, it's anarchist group, etc. So, etc. And the result of this experiment was so everybody can observe how they make news, how they use info in their own way, what they need.
Yeah, of course.
It's kind of, but also at this way, they say no, because I realize that first plan is not by law. It's kind of against law, you know.
Yeah.
But this way, just with forgotten cars or just with cars, it's not against law at all.
Yeah.
But even at that very interesting plan, they say no. So that is why it's just two examples to realize that we really need to be independent in every situation to do what we want.
Yeah.
So there's no need to shake hands of
All the time.
Of all that very important curators. No need, because when you shake their hand, you lose you lose your freedom. Okay.
Okay, I see. I've been attacked by Casper meanwhile. So basically, this is the best Voina interview ever. I have one last question for you. If Casper doesn't kill me before, don't kill me, Casper, please.
Not now.
Not now. Not now. Kill me later.
На челюсти.
No, I mean the question is what? I mean,
Потому что у них корни глубокие.
what about your position as a woman inside the Voina collective? Does it count that you are a woman, or it's you just
Да нет.
any other member of Voina is similar? Even Casper, as you see.
Ну, если я думаю, что нет здесь такого разделения по полу.
Casper, be
Если бы я была мужчиной, я бы сделала то же самое. Я правильно вас поняла?
Yeah, you so, Koza said there's no difference, and I must to say that frankly, Koza is the leader of Voina because her role is to create the scenario in the way, and we're really fixed on this part of action of the security.
Okay.
He need to create, and she creates, in every action, it is
The security frame
yes,
in which you
it
move.
is her who create the scenario according the idea of security, because
Okay.
we really don't need to be arrested during the action. For example, we were arrested, but it was not on that palace revolution action. Because if we were arrested during the action, we will not